Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so very much for dropping by this video and this channel. This channel is dedicating to helping people have a direct connection with the divine, with the source of all that is, and how to, through that connection, how to be guided, how to heal their body, their minds, their hearts, their personality, how to bring themselves into alignment with love and live from that place. So I'm going to lead us through a guided meditation. I've got the instructions in the chat and in the description of the video. Very simply, please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards, back in a relaxed, upright position, not stiff, not slouched, and if possible, not leaning against your chair. If you need to, that's okay. Get nice and comfortable. Close your eyes. And really separate yourself from any burdens, worries, or illnesses. Literally put them aside, put them behind you, or hand them over to your understanding of a higher power. Literally, illnesses, life situations. As they say, put your problems in God's hands. Everything that doesn't feel good, put it in God's hands. Or again, your understanding of a higher power. And now think of something that makes you happy. A fond memory, a work of art, a dear friend. And now, either with words or inwardly, ask to receive the divine energy, the divine power that heals and liberates. And observe your body, engaging your will to receive and your will to let go of everything that doesn't feel good. So that's the practice, observing the body with the intention to receive. Drinking in the divine power. If your mind is all over the place, you can take some deep breaths. You can observe your breath to help your mind quiet, or you can listen to some soothing music, repeat a short phrase, prayer, or mantra. But the practice is to observe your body with the intention to take in, to receive from the divine. Keep coming back to that intention to receive. Noticing what you feel, observing your body. Keep coming back to the present moment, to the intention to receive what's good, what's harmonious, what's healthy, and let go of what isn't. If thoughts come, let them pass on by. If negative thoughts come, hand them over to higher power. Ask for a good thought. Keep coming back to the present moment. So I'm going to share a few words. If you'd like to just keep tuning in, feel free to turn the volume down. Thank you so very much for joining in. I'm going to share a few words and then we can close with some more tuning in and a prayer. So what's really on my mind and heart right now is an interesting experience I had. I went to visit my mom or I've been visiting my mom over the last couple of months. And maybe the second or third time, one of the things I dealt with was that her car wouldn't start. So I went to try and figure out, charged it, and it would start. It would stay charged for a little bit, then die. And then I noticed something interesting. The gear shift was in drive. She had forgotten to put it into park. So put it into park, then charged it up, and it was able to hold a charge for a while. So fast forward a couple months later, I was driving her car around, and I pulled into the parking space, and I left it in park, which is something I never do. I said, that's strange. I'm like, haha, that's funny. That's what mom did. That's why her battery died. So then a day later, I'm driving her car and I pull into a parking spot and I leave it in drive again. I said, whoa, that's odd. Okay, I'll put it in park. And I came back a month later and drove it, actually 2 months later, drove it, and guess what happened? I pulled into the parking spot and I left it in drive. And I said, aha, I know what's going on here. Bruno Groening's teachings really illuminate this. So Bruno talked about that we live, in essence, in a sea of energy. There's all sorts of energies all around us, inside of us. And we also are swimming in a sea of other people's energy. One time, a friend of Bruno's brought him an item, like I believe it was a locket for a necklace. And he said, oh, that's very lovely. And it still has some negative energy from the other person. And he said, any object picks up a charge from the person that is around it for a long enough time. He also once said that from a spiritual point of view, money, as in, dollar bills and whatnot, are neutral, but it picks up the energy of whoever had it last or whoever has it for a long time. So what I realized was that my mom had probably been doing this for months, and that energy or impression, I don't know exactly the right word, I'll just stick with the word energy, was in that car. And then I unconsciously tuned into that energy. And lo and behold, it actually impacted my behavior. So I've been driving for a while. And occasionally I would leave the car in drive, but very, very rarely, like a couple times in my whole life. But here in this particular car, it happened over and over and over again. So, Bruno taught us that as a human being, our soul is like an antenna. And that antenna is constantly receiving energy. And that there are two primary energies: the energy that is healthy, healing, uplifting, wise, and the energy of disease, darkness, delusion, and lies. And that we are moment by moment tuning in to one of those two energies. And, he also pointed out that we're also continuously exchanging energies with other people. And so he taught that it's very important to stay full of the good energy so that we don't take on, unconsciously even, other negative energy, but other people's negative energy. He once talked about how the electric wires in the wall gave off a charge that was harmful to the human body. But he said, but the person who stays full of the divine energy has no need to worry. They can stay safe from it. So this is one of the fundamental aspects of Bruno's teaching. The idea that we are receivers and that there are all different types of energies all around us. And we need to stay full of the divine power or the divine energy to, first of all, just naturally repel, or you could say unconsciously repel, negative energy, but also so that we have the presence to be aware when a negative or dark thought comes or when a negative energy comes our way. So let's sit with this for a little bit, continuing to tune in, fill up our spiritual batteries. Observing the body, having the intention to take energy in. filling up with goodness so that we can just naturally and effortlessly repel that which is not good. So I'm going to close with a prayer. Our beloved Source Maker, thank you so much for one more day of life. Thank you so much for the grace of your divine power. Thank you so much for leading us to Bruno Groening and his teachings. Please, for everyone who visited this video live and everyone who watches the replay, ask for the highest blessing. For everyone who comes by this channel or visits the Healing Stream website, please, may they feel the divine power, the divine grace and comfort. Please, for all the people and organizations sharing Bruno Groening's work, and for all the friends of Bruno Groening, good reception of the divine power. For ourselves, please. We ask for more and more devotion to the spiritual path with balance, balancing the spiritual life with our material life and duties and responsibilities. More and more faith and trust that nothing is impossible for God and that the good will prevail. Mindfulness of our thoughts. Discernment with our thoughts, which thoughts are right and not right. And self-awareness, reviewing our actions throughout the day and at the end of the day, discerning what we could have done better. For any personal requests, feel free to make them now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so very much for dropping by. I wish you a blessed, blessed day. Take care.